Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day today. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Dogecoin, what has happened to it recently, and where I predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as some key price levels and some trades I'm looking to make. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you're one of the 88% of people that watch my videos that are not yet subscribed, you know what to do. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Get those annotations back on the screen and let's talk about what Dogecoin has accomplished over the past day or so. So my first observation with Dogecoin, for anyone who's not clear, is that Dogecoin is an absolute beast of a cryptocurrency. So basically what I mean by this is, if we have a look at Dogecoin from where it pumped, so literally we come from the 25th of October, it was sitting at around 6 cents and we went all the way to 16 cents. Now, even after everything that happened in crypto, so FTX becoming insolvent, you know, fears of another exchange crash with millions of people losing their money to an exchange. After all of that and after all the FUD and everything, Dogecoin went down to 7 cents, which is still 14% where it was just 2 weeks ago. So this tells me straight away that the community that are holding Dogecoin are extremely strong. There's a lot of diamond hands here in Dogecoin who are just holding Dogecoin for the long term. They don't care about these events that are happening around them. There was obviously some panic selling here, as we see the price of Dogecoin did come down. But, you know, for example, if we compare that to something like Bitcoin, literally just a few weeks ago at the same time Dogecoin was 6 cents, was chilling in this $19,000 region. We literally came down to $15,000. We came down to a price on Bitcoin that had not been seen for 2 years on Bitcoin here. We've seen this new local low. And so that's just a remarkable testament to Dogecoin about how strong the holders are in Dogecoin, how much they want to see Dogecoin go up to very high prices, which is really, really cool. So that's my first observation. I just wanted to point that out. Of course, we've seen the price absolutely go crazy here again. From its low down at 7 cents, we're literally up on Dogecoin by about 30% here. And that is because of that inflation data that came out. My last video was tracking that inflation data live. So if you want to go and watch that, be sure to check my channel out. But basically, we saw this triangle here on Dogecoin on the very short term. That inflation data came out and we broke through this triangle to the upside. We did see that final price target of 9 cents on Dogecoin. So if you did manage to trade that triangle, congratulations. And at the moment, it seems like the price is steaming up to our moving averages here. So of course, I talk about these moving averages a lot and I talk about the trend lines a lot because it tells us which trend we are following here on Dogecoin. At the moment, I'm really watching this blue moving average because this has been the most reliable in my experience. So if we can flip bullish on that blue moving average, for example, that is one of the key pieces of things I'm looking for in order for us to be going in a bullish trend in Dogecoin. At the moment, we're very close to it, but if we come back down, then this just ends up being a fake pump. So what I'm really looking for is the price of Dogecoin to continue going in an upwards direction, flip the moving averages and flip these bearish trend lines that we've got. We've got two major kind of final bosses, as it were, to take out before we can start being super bullish on Dogecoin once again. And those two bosses are these trend lines going in this direction, because to me, these trend lines tell me that we're in a bearish trend. Of course, as you can see, since the start of November, this trend line in yellow has been respected and it's going in the downwards direction. And so therefore, you can say that that trend line controls this bearish direction of the price since the start of November. So it's been in play now for 10 days. And of course, in order for us to see bullish price action, we need to flip above this yellow line and start heading above it. Now, until we do that, we can have bullish pumps in price on Dogecoin, but we're going to be in an ultimately bearish direction. So this is what I mean by flipping these resistances that we have here. Of course, this purple one is another resistance I'm eyeing. If we can pump past that, if we can get past that as well, and we see price continue on its upwards momentum, that will be very encouraging for me. But at the moment, we are dictated by these two downwards trend lines that we're seeing. So just a quick observation there. Of course, if we have a look at Bitcoin, because whatever Bitcoin does seems to be reflected throughout the whole cryptocurrency market. So if Bitcoin makes a bullish move, then so does Dogecoin. So basically with Bitcoin, what we've seen is we've broken down past this downwards trend line, this very bearish trend line that we had dictating Bitcoin, and now we're heading back to this zone of support here. If we can get into this region here on Bitcoin and at least consolidate in here, it doesn't have to pump all the way through it, but if we can consolidate in this region here, then that is very nice and very bullish here for Bitcoin, because this area was a historical zone of support. I said in my previous videos, if we lost this area, then that is very bearish. Now, of course, we were very bearish But we had that inflation data that changes everything. Of course, as you can see, we have flipped this orange line. We've headed in this upward direction, and now we're going in this short-term bullish direction. Of course, I'd like to see a few more things before I can say we're going in a bullish trend here on Bitcoin. But this short-term bullish pump that we're seeing here is very promising. And if we can get into this area, that's really, really nice. So that's what I'm looking for at Bitcoin at the moment. Of course, if we can do that, then Dogecoin is free to go in this much more bullish direction that we're heading in right now. And the last thing we want is for Bitcoin to do something like this, complete retracement back down to the 16,200 level. Because of course, if Bitcoin does that, then I do expect Dogecoin to do something similar. Typically, that I would say would be bound by this purple resistance that we have here. So something I'm really keeping my eye on. Of course, in terms of chart patterns, apart from that triangle that we saw, I'm not really seeing all too much because, the price is pumped up very, very quickly. But what I'll typically look for is for the price to consolidate in a region. So maybe we do something like this. And of course, if we do something like that, where the price kind of goes sideways for a while, we see up and downwards movement there, then I'd be looking for chart patterns in order to trade that. And of course, if I do see any chart patterns, I always update them on my trading view. So be sure to follow me on there. The link is in the description down below. But otherwise, things are good. We're basically following something that looks like this in an uptrend. We can get the indicators back on to tell us where the momentum is going. And I do think that, and as you can see from the indicators, we're getting a very bullish reading here on Dogecoin. RSI is in the bought zone now, so this is a bullish sign. The purple line is above the 50 reading here on the RSI, meaning we've got bullish momentum, and the MACD line is finally above 0. We're seeing a big momentum push in the upwards direction. So this price jump that we're seeing is backed up by real momentum, people buying into Dogecoin. So this is very bullish again to see. So pretty much all I'm looking for is what happens to the price as it gets to this 100-hour moving average. What I'm looking for is for what the price does when we get to this 100 moving average. I do think a bounce off it and to the downwards direction would be normal, but I would hope to kind of break through it. So say if the moving average did something like this, I would expect there to be some sort of resistance, but eventually Dogecoin to break out of it. And of course, again, with this trend line that we've got going down, I would be looking for the price to break out of this trend line with some momentum. And if we see an increase in volume, that's very, very bullish. And the final boss up here, this yellow trend line that we've got here, that's determined the trend here on Dogecoin. If we can break through this as well, so at the moment that is at 10.4, 10.5 cents. If we can break through that over the coming hours and days, then honestly I will be super bullish here on Dogecoin, and I do think we can keep on heading much higher. I do think if we can break this trend line here, we can see at least something that's going to do this over time, the next few days, maybe even the next few weeks on Dogecoin. And I'd be looking for at least the previous high over here to be hit if that is done. So if we break this downwards trend line and we're following a much more bullish trend, something that's dictated that looks like this, for example, then we can see 16 cents hopefully in the next few days to next few weeks. But of course, like I say, I'm always looking for chart patterns to tell us where the price is going. At the moment, we're seeing this nice little pump here, so there isn't all too much happening in terms of chart patterns, but I'm really enjoying seeing the price go in the upwards direction. So of course, if there is any more news on Dogecoin, if I do see any chart patterns, everything will be in my trading view. But I just wanted to let you know that these are probably going to be the next levels of resistance. This 100-hour moving average that's currently sitting at 9.6 cents. We've got this trend line just below 10 cents, and we've got our final boss here at 10.7, 10.6 cents going down. So I'm keeping my eye on what the price does to all of those. Can we really break through them with a lot of momentum? And if so, that's extremely bullish, guys. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I have to say on Dogecoin. Just very finally as well, I'm going to be following what Bitcoin does. As you know, if we can stay in this area at the very least, then this is going to be bullish for Dogecoin and we can continue in our upwards direction. But if Bitcoin starts to retrace, of course, we've had a nice pump here on Bitcoin. But if people start taking profits and it pushes the price down back into the 16,000s here on Bitcoin, then we're going to see some of these levels lost as well. I do think Dogecoin, if that happens, it's going to break first through this trend line in purple here. And then we're going to kind of consolidate in an area at around 8.5 to 8 cents, something like this, I believe. So that is my price prediction here on Dogecoin. Of course, I make these videos every day as well. So you'll receive your Dogecoin update tomorrow as well. But guys, that's all I have to say. Enjoy the rest of today. Enjoy the markets. Everything is looking really good. So if you are bullish on cryptocurrency, then congrats. A well-deserved pump after all the negativity that we've had in the cryptocurrency prices recently. And hopefully it continues into tomorrow and the next few days as well. So I'll see you then.